Okay, look, colleagues. First thing, you've been absolutely brilliant. I think this has been one of the best strike first days that I've been to. Absolutely fantastic effort by all of you. We've made a big impact already. There is no doubt about it that the company, I think, was expecting us to have maybe one or two pickets and not to have gone for this in a big way. I think they've been completely shattered in that illusion. So we've got the initiative, and we've got to stick with it. There's a lot going on in the world of journalism, and what's going on here is not divorced from the wider picture too, because I think it's very important that we look at the ownership of newspapers. We've seen what's going on with News International, and you may think, well, what's the connection? I think there's a big connection, because there they've got owners that don't care about journalism. Johnston Press, you've got owners that don't care about journalists, so much so they even say they don't employ any journalists. I think that the landscape has changed completely, and I think Johnston Press has been doing this salami slicing, cutting journalists' jobs for too long. So much so, we're down to the absolute bone, and that's where you guys have said, we've had enough. And you are taking a stand for what's happening locally. But there's no doubt about it that what you're doing is inspiring everybody else as well. And this is what we've got to do. We've got a battle on our hands to actually have a profession that is going to survive. And it is by us doing what we're doing, making it known to the public that we care about the profession, we care about giving them, a professional service, and being a vital part in their community and in democracy. And when it comes down to it, we're also there to defend our members. And let's not forget that in this fight, we've got members who are facing compulsory redundancy. And I think we took a decision early on that we weren't going to let that happen. That's one part of the dispute. The other part is about keeping up the standards, keeping up the good journalism that is basically going to keep us in jobs for the future. Because if we don't, then we may as well pack up and go home now, because the bean counters will come back again and again and take more jobs, and the titles will become irrelevant to ordinary people. So this is on a day when Rebecca Brooks has resigned, not before time. She, I think, is a disgrace to journalism, but as I say, that is one side of the argument about having a profession that is worthy of its name. Now, the other part that I should just say is the amount of support that you are getting. I touched on it briefly. Very important meeting was held yesterday by your colleagues at the Sheffield Star. They had an emergency chapel meeting, and they passed a resolution which was sent to John Bills yesterday. And I'll just give you the essence of that. This is from Julia Armstrong, who was here, the MOC, who was here earlier this morning. She said that the emergency chapel meeting was held following news that pages that would not normally be produced by NUJ members who are on strike from tomorrow at South Yorkshire Newspapers are going to be dealt with by the hub in Sheffield. The meeting decided unanimously that members of Sheffield Newspapers NUJ Chapel will not undertake any work that would normally be done by strikers. If anybody faces disciplinary action for refusing to undertake this work, the chapel would be prepared to walk out in support of colleagues in that situation. Now that is really strong, and I think that shows you that you are inspiring other NUJ members. And I don't think that's an idle threat either, and I know the company has taken that on board. In fact, she says, I understand that Nick Woodhead, who I think is the head of the hub there, spoke to Sheffield hub staff today to tell them that they would not be required to do any work that would have been done by strikers, and I welcome that decision. So I think that's absolutely terrific. The other thing is that we're now starting to get donations coming in thick and fast, and I know Darren is in the forefront of getting all the messages of support and where the donation stuff. I have in my hand a cheque for £400, which has come in from London freelance treasurer Jenny Vaughan, and the branch has met and obviously is determined to support you. I know that South Yorkshire Newspapers have also given £1,000 as a down payment. Birmingham and Coventry, my own branch, would like to have a speaker from the chapel come down and talk, and I'm sure that there will be a hefty donation with that as well. So it's moving. We've got momentum. It's critical that you stick with it. You've been solid today. If you stay solid, the company will have to come to us with a solution. And I suppose the last thing is, if we had any awards for star performance on the picket line, I think it would have to go to Hayley.
This is telling us about all the money that the various shareholders, directors and CEOs of the company are getting, and all the huge bonuses for the fat cats, whereby at the same time they're actually cutting jobs, closing offices, making staff redundant. They're always the same. People that do the hard work suffer, the ones that reap in the money, all the big counters, they get all the profits.
Yeah.
United will never be defeated.
We're hacked. United will never be defeated. We're hacked. United will never be defeated.
Thank you.
Save local newspapers! Doncaster Free Press. We're journalists who work there. Job